Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at some r/Am I the Devil? So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. First off, I bit my tongue in my sleep really bad last night, and I now have a fat ulcer on my tongue. So if I sound like I'm talking a little bit weirdly, like I have cotton wool in my mouth, that is why. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It is what it is. Second thing, this week uploads could very well be very disrupted. One of my kids has a lot of important meetings this week, which obviously will be top priority for me. So making sure that uploads are consistent will not be top priority, and that is just the way it is. Kids come first all the time. That is just how it is. So if that is the case, I apologize. It will get back to normal. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Also, on a very positive note, and I think positive to share as well as encouragement for others that might be on the fence, guess who started therapy this week? Me! So I started and it was really good. I took some time to find someone who I think would vibe more with me. She's got more of an alternative sort of look about her. She's a little bit more just sort of my personality, I suppose, and someone I thought that I could kind of open up to, and I think that's really important. But I think it's important to share as well, because I know that it can be a very, very concerning step to take. Believe you me, I'm not someone who opens up readily. And yes, I've only had one appointment, but it felt very comforting and natural because it was someone who I felt like I could vibe with, I suppose. So yeah, if you're on the fence and you think that you need it and you're worried, just take that time, find someone. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I went for this person off their look and the way that they kind of carried themselves on their website, which is very, very superficial. But just doing that, I felt like, yeah, there is a kind of, this is someone that I could open up to because, yeah, I need someone who's a little bit more like me, a little bit more cut and dry, who isn't going to do the theirs and all of that lot, So yeah, just take your time, find someone who you think is good. Don't be afraid to drop a therapist if they are not suiting your style and the way you feel and you just don't vibe with them. It doesn't even have to be that you don't like them. If you just don't feel that you can open up to that person, do not feel that you can't go to somebody else. But honestly, if you're on the fence and you're thinking about taking that step, take that step. Even just that one session and being able to talk to someone just about the very surface things was oh so helpful. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the post now, shall we? I will stop waffling now. I just thought that was really important to share. So, first post, how do I, 24M, get my girlfriend, 27F, to be more intelligent? My girlfriend is amazing, but she's never been the sharpest tool in the shed. She is great though, and very book smart, but struggles with abstract concepts. She's a pharmacist, so she's not dumb, but doesn't think deeper. Okay. When we met, I had just PCS to Fort Meade. I was going out DC for the first time. I'm reading that how it's written, by the way. Bear in mind, this is someone who's dogging on someone for their intelligence. And I didn't know anyone yet, so I pulled off the greatest move ever. I'm super proud of this one. This has to be rage bait. You ever hear guys complain about the ugly friend blocking you from going to the hot friend? Well, fellas, let me put you on. The key is to include the other friend in the conversation. It's a good tactic if you don't have a wingman. Oh, like normal people? Still, when I started talking to the two, I realised the less attractive friend and I had deeper, more abstract conversations, which I love. So much that I considered talking to her instead. I got both of their numbers and I didn't flirt with neither, but her friend disqualified herself. See, I'm big in my fitness, and this has got to be rage bait. Unfortunately, she is not, but I figured this could be an investment. I told her how much I enjoy working out and eating healthy, and asked her if she wants to work out together. She makes jokes about her weight and said, "Do I look like I go to the gym?" And made a comment how she knows she's not healthy, but everyone has a vice and she enjoys it. So I pivoted to my girlfriend, her friend, who genuinely has the greatest body ever. So, everybody, we have officially met a sentient douche canoe today. Are you excited? Still, I like having our deep, abstract discussions and get it more with my girlfriend than her. I love my girlfriend, and even leaving active duty in the Air Force and just got to the Air National Guard or Reserves. I love my girlfriend, and even leaving active duty in the Air Force and just go to the Air National Guard or Reserves. What are you trying to say with that sentence? Mr. Intellectual. But I wanted to develop the more complex, abstract thoughts. For example, last night I made a deep thought about the stars and universe, and it went over her head. Calm down, Plato. She didn't respond and just said, "I love you," and kissed me on the cheek. Got up and started cooking. Like, question mark, question mark, question mark? Her friend would have responded with something that grows the conversation. Love her a lot and our relationship has grown, but I'm trying to get her from an A- to an A+ when it comes to our conversations. I mean, to be fair, my friend, she's probably just going, "Okay, I'm going to go and cook now," because half the shite you're spewing makes no sense. Normally, it is great, but when I'm in the mood for abstract, deep conversations, she can't pick up on it. As we go into our year 2 of our relationship, we just celebrated our anniversary and started living together. I just want to continue to grow with each other. These types of people I think are insufferable because at the end of the day, intelligence is such a spectrum and you can be so smart in one area and not know a lot in another. That's okay. It doesn't mean you are a dumbass. It means that you just are more expertised in one area than you are another. I always use this example, but a doctor who is doing brain surgery and knows everything about the brain, knows all of the connections, the neurons, every tiny little bit, all of the vessels running through the brain, everything, could realistically turn around and tell you, "I don't know where South Africa is." Because it's not their area of expertise. And again, a lot of doctors who specialize in the brain will not know everything about the heart. And people who specialize in the heart will not know everything about the foot, you know? Intelligence is a spectrum, and intelligence is also something that is so vast, and you can have a lot of intelligence and still not know things. It's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no. Trying to pretend that you're this philosophical genius does not make you the brains of the universe, my love. And it also doesn't mean you're above anyone. Surprise, shocker, I know. Someone had to tell you. So then down in the comments, the person who reshared this to AmITheDevil quotes the OP and says, "For example, last night I made a deep thought and the stars and the universe, and it went over her head. She didn't respond, just said I love you and kissed me on the cheek. Oh, please, can I be the one to tell him that he's the idiot in the relationship?" Literally. I just know he's one of those people who thinks they are sounding deep, but really sound like an idiot. I have an acquaintance like that. I do too. And then Song IC 4058 says, "I would love to know what his deep thoughts were." Oh, seriously, me too. I would love to know. Stars sparkle, yes? Next post, I ruined my wife's life. I, 27M, ruined my wife's 26F life. When I came into the picture, she pretty much had her life nearly perfect. She had a business in full swing and it was incredibly successful. She had her very active hobbies, which she partook in every day, and blended it well with her work. She was very fit and in great shape, which was maintained in part by her hobbies being active. She was really happy with life. Then I came along. We fell in love basically immediately, and within a couple of months, she ended up pregnant. She was nervous, but I was ecstatic. She had the baby because she knew how badly I wanted a family. The pregnancy was hard on her energy wise. It pretty much exhausted her to the point where she couldn't do any of her hobbies, which were all activity based. So that was off to a bad start. As the pregnancy went on, her self image took a plunge as her athletic body grew. Even though she bounced back to her pre pregnancy weight, she said she can barely even stand to look at herself in the mirror anymore. Giving birth was traumatizing. 36 hours of labour, her epidural failed, so she had to suffer through it naturally. Last minute complications made it so they had to unexpectedly reach in and pull out our son. Oh, no, 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 no. That sounds horrible. Which was incredibly painful for her. I had my youngest with no pain relief whatsoever. That was enough. That was enough. And then the hospital staff basically abandoned her to her own devices. Didn't show her how to clean herself or anything. What? She had to YouTube it. They also completely forgot to give her prescription pain meds for a disability the full 5 days we were there. So she suffered bad withdrawals and ultimately they cut her off them. That sounds like she is basically swimming down the river of medical trauma. My goodness. We came home and our maid basically let the house get filthy. The maid also let my wife's service dog out in the rain and then didn't dry him like instructed. So the service dog got skin infections. Those were expensive vet bills. Yes, we let her go. I'm sorry, but where were you in all this, OP? Like, what were you doing when you're seeing all this happen? I'm sorry. Were you just allowing all this to happen? What the fuck? Then I had to go back to work right away because the job I got to insure us didn't offer paternity leave because of how new I was. Yeah, but I'm sure you went home at the end of the day. And our baby was colicky, so it was hell on my wife to manage him whilst trying to heal. And then, when my wife did try to start her business back up, turns out it is almost undoable with a screaming newborn, which we preciously were led to believe that we could balance it between naps and such. But that was not the case at all. I only laugh there because anyone who tells you, oh, bringing up a newborn is easy, no, don't believe them. It is not. It is hell on earth. I'm sorry, but someone has to say it. I know that a lot of people have great experiences, but for the amount of people that have great experiences, there are more that do not. And I don't get why, as a society, we sugarcoat what being a new mum specifically entails. It is not fun. And you know, the babies are cute, they're great, you love them to bits, and they're amazing. So, my mother moved in to help watch the baby while my wife, the breadwinner, worked to keep a roof over our heads, and I worked to keep us insured. Now we found out my wife is pregnant again, which I, of course, am thrilled about, but my wife, of course, dreads. Also, a big falling out with my mother, who was getting controlling over how we raised our kid and tried to shut out my wife, so now she isn't in the picture. And because we need my insurance for the next baby, things are boiling down to my wife having to give up the business that she built to be a stay-at-home mum, which she hates. So, I basically came into my wife's perfect life and 1, put an end to her hobbies, 2, ruined her self-image, 3, crippled her business, 4, stripped away her identity, and 5, put her through a traumatic event that mentally scarred her for a whole life. And to top it all off, before people say, but you gave her a son, she doesn't love him. Every time she sees him, he is a reminder of how she was mistreated in the hospital. Every time he cries, he is a reminder of how she lost her business because of him. Every time he cries and wakes her up in the night is a reminder that her happy life is gone. I ruined everything that she loved, and she knows it. And I hate knowing that I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to her. why are you not stepping in and doing something about it? The maid not doing her job, if you're hiring a maid or a cleaner or whatever, but if you're hiring like a housekeeper, why are you not ensuring that they're doing their job properly? Why are you not stepping in more? You're just standing back watching it and going, oh no. Edit. Just woke up and haven't gotten through all the comments yet, but I feel the need to clarify. When we found out she was pregnant again, I was the first to suggest an abortion because I know how much she hated everything prior and 100% will back up her choice. But so far, that choice is to keep it because she doesn't think she could go through with abortion. Partially because she knows I've always wanted a big family, partially because she wants this time to be different, and partially because her family demonized her at the thought of it, so she doesn't want to lose them. When I say I am thrilled, I mean because I've always wanted a big family, and that was something we originally bonded over until the regret of the first one set in. And thrilled that so far she has decided to keep it. Mate, you're seeing how bad she's struggling, and you're thrilled? Like, genuinely, do you have two brain cells to rub together to make a spark? Because I think that you don't. Either that or you're just that self-absorbed that you don't care how much she's struggling. Because clearly you don't have to do any of the legwork. So let's have a look what the comments say, shall we? Perhaps now is not the time to have another child. I'd also recommend using condoms. I hope your wife finds a great therapist to help her. Literally. And then Nightwicker says, yeah, I feel sorry for these people, but absolutely cannot fathom how after a traumatic pregnancy she clearly didn't want, and he feels immense regret and guilt over, they still shag without a condom. They must not be very smart people, the both of them. Literally. And then historical subject 580 says, and he's thrilled. Her pain and chaotic changes seem, at a minimum, to be irrelevant to OP, and at a maximum, he kinda likes it. Now, if you didn't find that last story annoying enough, I've got another one for you that's guaranteed to raise the blood pressure. I apologise. My 27M girlfriend, 32F, scammed my sister, 20F. How do I help them repair their relationship? So, my sister fell for the dumbest scam ever. My girlfriend wasn't even trying to scam her. She posted a joke on her close friend's story about how she could turn $1,000 into $1 million for anyone. It was a joke, but my sister messaged her and said, really? How so? So, my girlfriend tells her about some banking thing that she can do, and my sister sends her the money. Afterwards, my girlfriend just stopped responding, and she kept messaging her until my girlfriend said, you're not getting the money back. One thing I would love to ask OP is, did you meet your girlfriend off the internet, and have you met her in real life? Just wondering. Of course, my sister was angry and told me and almost told our parents, but I told her to keep it between us. I talked to my girlfriend about giving the money back to my sister and she said no, but for good reason. She wants this to be a learning moment for my sister, so she's keeping the money so my sister is more vigilant in the future. Right now, it's $1,000, but in a few years, it's $20,000 if we don't teach my sister how to be more responsible. I don't agree with my girlfriend and think that she should give her the money, but I see her point of view. Your head is filled with goldfish, isn't it, my love? Oh my goodness. Sandwich short of a picnic, this one. I told my sister that I talked to my girlfriend, but there's nothing I can do. She said no, and her response was, dump the whore. Which was completely disrespectful, and I told her don't talk about her like that. She stole $1,000. What are you on about? Right now, my sister isn't even talking to me. She even removed me from social media. I'm going to give her some time. My birthday is coming up, so when she calls to tell me happy birthday, don't bank on it. I'll try to mend things between us and her and my girlfriend. I'm sorry, this OP is so delusional. I would really appreciate any advice on how to mend things. You are going to get reported to the police. Or at very least your girlfriend is. What is wrong with the both of you? Many things, clearly. Edit. These comments are, wow, I did a poor job and didn't add very important context. I don't think there's a single shred of context you could add to this that would make it okay. My girlfriend is one of the sweetest people there is, apart from theft. She's very kind. She volunteers and mentors a lot. She even helped my sister with her resume. And then nicked her money. I can also say this isn't about taking advantage of my sister, like others suggested, because my girlfriend does decently well for herself, probably rinsing other poor schmucks. Like, that's probably how. She genuinely feels this is a way to teach her a lesson because she cares deeply about my sister. It's not the method I would use, but she's coming from a good place. Edit 2. I can see the outrage in the comments and I hear you. My girlfriend's coming from a good place, but I understand my sister's frustration. To solve the issue, I'm just going to give my sister $1,000 out of my own pocket. You are an idiot. Plain idiot. There's nothing in there, is there, other than air and tumbleweeds? So, down in the comments, Moogle Me This says, my girlfriend is one of the sweetest people there is. She is very kind. If you really, truly, genuinely believe this, you'd have no problem with your sister telling your parents. The reason you are trying to convince her otherwise is because you know there is no justification for this. None. And you don't want your parents to see your girlfriend's true nature. And just a stellar job as a big brother there, buddy. Would you also allow your friends to assault her, to teach her to be more careful at night? After all, someone else might do something worse at some point, right? And then Divagate113 says, and he still thinks she's going to wish him a happy birthday. Literally, I did laugh at that bit. I was thinking, yeah, she ain't ringing you, mate. What are you on about? And then Dina Rock says, that bit tickled me the most. Then Legitimate Essay 221 says, what is she going to do with your sister's 1k? Start a charity to help inform other people on scams? Or is she going to pocket the money? She's using this morality lesson as an excuse to scam and steal from your sister. This is a criminal offence, and your sister should report it to the police. Edit, also, don't you think that your sister was a little more comfortable trusting their particular scam source, considering it was her big brother's girlfriend? She's not teaching her to be distrustful of random scammers. She's teaching her that people you should trust will screw you over. And then OP says, she's not going to pocket the money. I should have mentioned this earlier, but the plan is to use it for something that can help my sister. Bollocks. Pure bollocks. She will either put it in a mutual fund or buy my sister something useful. And then P. Lutus says, how about helping your sister out by giving back what's hers and not messing with her money? I don't know, just an idea, but I'm not a massive asshole or a thief. Literally. And then Self-Resc Princess says that doesn't make this okay. You just set the precedent that exploiting your family members is cool with you. This is awful. That's your sister's money and you're doing nothing to help her. Don't be surprised when she doesn't call you for your business. You ruin that relationship for yourself. And then OP says, I'm just going to give my sister the $1,000 out of my own pocket. I added it in my edit. My girlfriend is coming from a good place, but I understand my sister's frustration. And then Prongs1223 says, you really are a fucking fool. Honestly, how dense can you be? I am sorry. I really would like to know if this person has actually met their girlfriend in real life. I just want to know, just for science. Okay, I think that's where we're going to leave it for the day. If you made it all the way to the end with me, I appreciate you very, very much. Don't forget to give a little like, subscribe, notifications on. That is your initiation into the cult of void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye.